We begin with the worsening humanitarian situation on the European Union's eastern frontier. Officials in Poland say they've again pushed back several groups of migrants trying to cross the border with Belarus. Many more are being held inside Belarus after weeks spent camping in remote forests. Young families are caught up in a bitter dispute between the two neighboring nations.
This logistics centre in Belarus has become these migrants' latest camp. Warehouse shelves have been turned into makeshift beds. Children make the most of their new surroundings, apparently oblivious to what's going on around them. Guards control the 2,000 mostly Iraqi Kurds who are now stuck here waiting for a better life.
Why did you come here?
Because of the bad situation in Iraq. There is no hope, nothing to life. We are not like, our life is not like a human. We want to change our life to better if we get in Europe.
You think you have a hope, a chance of getting into Europe?
I'm sure. I'm sure about that. I never give up.
But some here are less optimistic.
We are not safe in Iraq. So we want to go German, but there's no way because the Poland is closing these doors.
For weeks, the world has watched the standoff as migrants have tried to cross from Belarus into the European Union, only to be forced back at the Polish border. The EU has accused Belarus of using migrants as political weapons. The Belarusian leader admits his forces may have assisted people along the way, but remains unconcerned.
Our guys are helping the migrants get into the Polish territory. It's perfectly possible. I think that's absolutely possible. Maybe someone helped them. I won't even look into this.
Outside the warehouse, migrants queue for the mobile shop and for the one free meal they get a day. All of them waiting, all of them hoping. But what happens next is out of their hands.
And DW's Nick Connolly is in Belarus, close to the border with Poland. He's been to a warehouse where 2,000 Iraqis are now being held.
This was not supposed to be their destination, the final stop of their journey to Europe. For some 2,000 Iraqi Kurds, most of whom have spent thousands of dollars getting here, their goal was always Europe, and for most of them that meant Germany. But now, as Europe's borders have closed, they're here after days and sometimes weeks out in the cold in the forests, in this makeshift camp, waiting for some kind of news from the outside world, cut off from Belarus and Belarusian society, but also cut off from the outside world. And most of these people's mobile phones have died, the batteries are used up. Same goes for their power banks. They have no way of charging those, so they're unable to reach their families back in Iraq or even to find out the news of what's happening in the big world of politics and diplomacy, dependent on rumors and hearsay. Just a few minutes ago, there was a huge round of applause across this hall, and we later found out that someone had spread the news that Germany was willing to let families cross the border, something that hasn't been confirmed from Berlin, so it seems very likely to be fake news, but a small shred of hope that people here who have invested basically all their savings and the best part of a few months taking considerable risks, they're basically willing to believe anything that keeps their dream alive.
And some of the migrants Nick spoke to in the warehouse camp say they want to go to Germany, but they're getting mixed messages.
They told us yesterday, Germany will do something good for you. Just stay here, just be patient here. And today, just a half an hour ago, someone came here who was a journalist. I don't know, it was German or a Belarusian journalist. I don't know. He told us there's no hope, just go back, go to Iraq. There's no hope. No one will do anything for you. So we don't know what to do.
DW correspondent Amian Asif joins me now from the Polish side of the border. Amian, what's the situation for the migrants where you are?
Well, Eddie, once they cross the border into Poland, the danger is not over for them because one of Europe's largest forests lies just across the border with Belarus. And in this forest, everybody who crosses over is basically hiding out and trying to avoid getting caught by the police. This could be a matter of days or it could be a matter of weeks. And when they try to survive for weeks in a forest without clean water or food, emergencies are bound to happen. Just yesterday, 3 people were brought to a hospital. A child died earlier in the week. And we just spoke with a woman from this town that I'm in right now, that's just a few kilometers from the border. She's volunteered to try to help migrants in the woods who call for help because they're either dehydrated or starving. And she says it's been made intentionally difficult by Polish authorities to get in there and get aid to them. Now, there are no big aid organizations coming in here giving aid to the people who are in the woods. It's really done on a volunteer basis, and it's, like I said, very difficult for any aid to get in.
Okay, a little bit more about that, because yes, you say locals are trying to get aid through for people who manage to cross the border. Exactly how are they doing that?
Well, some people are either going in at night illegally. Some people are going with border guards, but just on a case-to-case basis. But like I said, there's no really system in place to help out. The UN and a lot of other situations with refugees around the world is allowed to come in and have some kind of a temporary base there where they can operate from. But here it's just small organizations. This woman that we talked to has only been doing this for a few weeks now. She just found out through reading about it on Facebook and decided to volunteer. And she's worried that more people are going to die if there isn't really a international effort from the EU, at least, to try to help the migrants who are on in the border region.
Okay, quickly before you go, Amian, does Poland expect the situation to de-escalate?
It does not seem that authorities here expect any de-escalation anytime soon. Troops are being sent from Estonia and the UK to help out, and we've seen a lot of emergency vehicles around. There's checkpoints on most of the roads here. Nothing has really changed over the week, despite the promises from Belarus's leader that he's trying to wind things down on the border.
Okay, Amian Asif on the Polish border with Belarus. Thank you.